Hello, everybody, and welcome to another video. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Ken Norton, and I'm the owner of a company called Panama Properties. And my company sells real estate in Panama, and we're sell real estate all the way from Pedicee to all the other beach areas like Coronado, San Carlos, Nueva Gorgana, to Panama City. In Panama City, we're specifically focused on Casco Viejo. But we do have listings in the rest of the city, and then we also have a very strong presence in Boquete, which is a very popular expat area as well. So mainly we're focused on the expat areas of Panama, and we deal with a lot of people and coming into Panama, and that's what a lot of this video is about, is a little explanation on how I help people and how the team of people that also work with me help people to enter into Panama, specifically into the real estate market. And what I like to explain is a lot of what I do beyond real estate to help people enter into the Panamanian market. So let me start off by saying that it is very, very rare that I have somebody come into Panama, buy real estate. All we do is a real estate transaction, and they don't ask me anything else about the transition and the relocation and the immigration and all those other things that come along with things. So, over the years of me doing real estate in Panama, what I've had to do is become an expert on pretty much all of those things dealing with relocation and helping people set up their lives. I don't charge anything for these services. I make my money on commissions by selling property, and all of these other things that I do, I think, are very, very important in helping people to set up their lives as they come in. One of the things I say all the time is I wish that I had a Ken when I came here. Okay. So I treat every client with the golden rule, which is simple as treat others as the way you want to be treated. And that was something that I didn't really experience when I came into Panama. And there was a very steep learning curve on the things that I had to go through. So I try not to have anybody else have that type of experience. I'd rather have them come in, have a happy and positive experience. So that's what we're going to talk a lot about in this video today. Um, so number one, I have a very, very client-based approach on people that are coming in. When I first came here, I encountered a lot of agents that basically had very specific types of homes, projects, or products that they were trying to sell me. And I wasn't looking for a lot of what they were trying to say. I personally wasn't interested in a gated community, for example, and that was a big type of a product that they were trying to sell. And as soon as I indicated that that was not what I was looking for, I saw the switches turn off and they stopped being interested in dealing with me, even though I was an eager buyer with cash in my hand. So, my approach to dealing with you, the client coming in that is looking to enter into Panama, is to listen to what you want, try to find you what you want, and do it within your budget if the budget's reasonable. For example, we're not going to get a beachfront home for $200,000, but if people come in with reasonable budgets and reasonable expectations, I'm going to listen to that and I'm going to help you try to find what you're looking for. Okay. Um, this is shaped, my experience coming in is shaped 100% on how I deal with my clients as they're entering into the country. The other thing that's one of my giant tenets is education. Okay. I think educating clients on the facts of what they're getting involved with, how Panama works, how the system in Panama works, the market of Panama, all of those things is extremely important. So people have informed knowledge of what they're getting involved with and how everything works here. I think that's extremely important. I have sold a lot of properties for people that came in and they were very uninformed, not misinformed necessarily, but uninformed on what they got involved with. And then when they're selling and they're exiting, they learn a lot of facts from me on how things actually work. But that's very much after the fact. So education is extremely important, and I drone on a lot about it in the meetings when I first meet clients about all those things. But I always feel as though people leave feeling much, much more informed. So Another big thing that I talk about, people will call me up and they'll say, I'm interested in this house. And let's say it's in Pedicey where my office is based. And I'll say, have you been to Pedicey? And they'll say no. And I'll say, do you think maybe you should come to Pedicey and check out the area and see if it's a good fit for you rather than just the house that you fell in love with? And they'll say, yeah, that's a good idea. I say, so come down to Pedicey, get an Airbnb, get a hotel, stay for a week, stay for 2 weeks, see if it's somewhere that you want to live. Because I think it's really more important to fall in love with the area and then finding them the home of that area is the easy task rather than just trying to find them their dream home and then the area is not a good fit and then after about a year they're very miserable with their choice and then it's a difficult conversation to try and exit somebody after only a year of them being there. Okay. So really, really helping people to be informed and choosing the right area that they want to be in is extremely important to me because I don't want to be part of anybody's bad stories. Simple as that. I want to build happy, content communities. That's extremely important. Um, Something I talk a lot about is planning your exit on your entrance. Okay. So it goes back to education, educating clients on market values. You know, if a home in Panama seems like a good deal compared to, say, buying a home in Malibu or the French Riviera, it probably is a good deal to that. You know, I have homes that are listed at a million, million and a half dollars, and in Malibu, they'd be $25 million. But is that home a good deal for Panama? That's something that we really need to talk about on the way in. Is it market value? So that if you do need to exit, is it exitable? That's extremely important. So talking about are you looking at a 3-year possible exit? Are you looking at a 5-year possible exit? Are you looking at staying for the rest of your life? Everybody says it's a forever home and they're never going to sell it. But, I've been involved in cases where people die, divorces, health issues, family matters change, all those things. So eventually, I always say everybody sells eventually. So getting people involved in the right property at the right prices in the beginning and saying, okay, can you get out of this in 5 years if you need to? That's an extremely important conversation that I have with most of my clients. Okay. Um, Connecting people. I've spent the last 4 years of my real estate career in Panama building up a trusted network of professionals that I work with. And like I said, 30 seconds ago, trust. Okay. Lawyers, accountants, business advisors, pet relocation people, the list goes on and on and on about people that I connect my clients with that I know are going to do a good job for my clients. That's what's most important. I can hand the clients over to these people. They take the ball, they run with it. They hook the clients up with what needs to happen and the job gets done properly. That's what's most important to me. Okay. So that network of strong professionals of people that quite often I use for my own personal affairs as well as my own business affairs as well are the people that I connect you, the client, with. So that's extremely important. Um, we have a changing demographic of the people that I see coming into Panama these days. So what I mean by that is traditionally we had a lot of retirees, part of the baby boomer generation. And recently we've had a lot more Gen X's or even younger than Gen X people coming that are coming with anywhere from toddlers to teenagers. So that's, dealing with people that really need to know a lot of information on stuff like private schools, communities that cater to the families, where they should be in order so that their children have the best opportunities and setting up their new lives here and their children's have the opportunities to have a future, all those things. So that type of family-based market information, those types of things is extremely important to deal with each type of person that's in those situations individually on what suits their needs best, not just sell them a house in an area where they shouldn't be living with kids. Okay. Um, Visas and immigration. That's a huge topic. But I get calls every single day from people that have read stuff on the information about how long it takes to complete the visas. or the expenses, or they've contacted unscrupulous lawyers that are going to charge them way too much money. So I always like to sit down and give people the actual facts on how long it takes to get a pensionado visa, how long it takes to do a friendly nations visa, what the investments are. I'm not an immigration specialist. I'm not a lawyer, but I do know a lot of the facts in order to give the clients the right information and hook them up with the correct lawyers and specialists in order to get those processes started properly. Okay. Panama is very, very open on the residency. It's one of the best countries to obtain permanent residence through stuff like real estate investment on. So it's just a matter of dispelling some of the misinformation that people have read and pointing them in the right direction to getting that process going. Legal structures. I have sold a lot of homes for people that were not in the correct legal structures. So I really like to have those conversations with my clients that are coming in and buying about the proper legal structure that's probably going to fit their needs properly, whether it's corporation, whether it's a foundation, whether it's another legal structure, in order to protect their assets, in order to make sure that if anything happens, that they're properly thing. Which leads me into my next subject as well, which is estate planning. Okay, I've had a few cases where I've had clients die, and their lawyers came to me, and I've had to deal with, work with the lawyers and selling the properties after death. And these people were not set up. There's also a lot of really terrible stories in Panama of people that died. They had no family here. Their assets basically disappeared, or their family had to come from their home countries and battle with the court system here in order to go through the probates and all the other processes. So I think when people are coming in and talking about estate planning, asset protection, those types of things are extremely important. They're conversations that don't often come up. Lawyers don't try to talk about that stuff. Most real estate agents, it's not on the radar because there's nothing in the agent for them. So this is where I like to think that I care in that I don't want to get that phone call, 10 years down the road about why did nobody tell me that I should have had this structure set up, or why did my dad not have this and now he's dead and all these things. So I think having the proper legal structures for a multitude of reasons is very important. And estate planning ties into that. Okay. Um, Another big thing that I get with people is where do I buy a washing machine? Where do I get a TV? Where do I get furniture? All these things that go along with buying a home. I don't have all the answers, but I definitely have a lot more experience than somebody new coming in. So I think, pointing people at the right stores, the right places where they're going to get the service, the right type of vehicles to buy. I've done an entire other video about why to buy a Toyota and the reasons for that. It at least helps people to not have to learn the hard way and make a bunch of mistakes on going to the wrong places for the wrong local products. Also, there's a lot difference in, we may have some of the same brand names as North America and Europe, but they're not always created the same. That's a whole like very expansive subject that I'll probably do another video on. But at least, you have a resource in me in order to point you that way. So it's very, very important. My main goal and why I'm talking about all this is I don't want to be part of anybody's horror stories. When I first came here, I witnessed a few major scams happen. I said, if I'm going to go in this business of real estate in Panama, my goal is to protect my clients. That's the most important thing, to make sure everybody is getting involved in stuff that they're going to have a positive experience, at least while they're dealing with me. I'm going to hook them up with positive people that are going to help them to the best of their abilities, and that they're going to come into Panama on a positive note. And then from there, it's a matter of how good their attitudes is. So moving here should be a thrilling, positive experience. It shouldn't be, that difficult. So that's what I feel as though I bring to the table as working as your realtor. It's not just about being a salesman. It's not about being salesy. It's about really, really being an advisor, being, part of your team to transition in, and part of helping you to set up your life as you're coming in. Okay. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in the services, even if you find a property and it's listed under a different agent, please feel free to contact me. use me as your buyer agent. That way that you know your interests are being protected and you're not being bamboozled by anybody. Okay. So I do that a lot. A lot of people come to me and they say, can you work with me as my buyer agent? That's fine. I go to the seller. I say, I got a client interested. We split the commission. It's very simple. It's very similar system to Canada. It's very similar system to America. And you know you got somebody representing you wholeheartedly to make sure that you're protected. Okay. So again, my name's Ken Norton. This is Panama Properties. You need anything, reach out to me. My phone number, my email, my contact information is all over my website. Okay. I'm not hard to find. I look forward to meeting you, hearing from you someday. If you have any questions, reach out. Have a good day.